Today is June 9th. It is 5:47 p.m. right now. Basically today we didn't do any hunting. We just spent the day regrouping pretty much. Last night after John shot that bear, we got hit by, or yesterday after John shot at a bear, we got hit with a crazy thunderstorm.
Just low.
Came back, everything was drenched. We pitched up the seek outside, hot tented, tried our best because all the wood was damp, but we eventually got the fire to go, and we tried to dry whatever we could inside of there, and it was just a mess. So I told John, I was like, hey, let's just not even worry about hunting tomorrow morning, which would be this morning, and let's just take the time to clean out our gear, dry up everything, and recharge the e-bikes, and we'll just hit it hard in the evening. So that's pretty much what we did today. But the other thing is we did go and shoot our rifles. We just had to make sure that our rifles were shooting straight, and we shot 100 yards, and our rifles are dialed in. They're still dialed in. So my miss was my fault, his miss was his fault. So good thing is the rifles are shooting straight, so don't have to tinker around with them too much. But on top of that, we also found some morels, and John's been talking about cooking some morels with bear fat, but we need to shoot a bear first. So we're gonna try and go and see if we can make it happen this evening and not miss. Back on the e-bikes we go, riding down to the same vantage point that we've been at for the past 2 nights. Decided to just post up once again and just glass the same stuff that we've been glassing for the past 2 nights. Tonight though, that bear's not back, so we figured that bear kind of learned its lesson. But the night's not over yet. The sun is just starting to set behind us over here, and we're just trying to cover as much country as possible. No bears yet, and just some more elk. No shortage of elk. I'll keep you posted and see how the evening rolls out. I just spotted a sow and 2 cubs like 6 miles away, but went to pull out the phone scope and I can't find them anymore. It's just a little awkward going from a spotting scope to a binos and then trying to refine them in the spotting scope, but I found them. 3 jet black bears, sow and 2 cubs, just feeding right in the open hillside. It's funny because there's an elk like just across the hillside that they're from, or they're on, and the elk's just chilling. But that is 3 days in a row where we spot a bear, so guess you can't really complain. Even if this was like a boar or like a lone bear, they're not in a position to even make a move on because they're out of reach. I was just glassing that hillside because I wasn't seeing anything close to us. If you go like you see the saddle right in front of us? Yep. If you go like straight up the saddle onto the other side, she's like right in that face right there. Okay. It's just a blacked on the binos, but for the spotting scope, she sticks out. Yep, go straight up the saddle, and they're like in almost like a clump of like taller bushes instead of just grass, and they're next to like a couple trees. don't know if that's any, I don't know if that explanation's any help, but that's the best I could give you for now.
I see those trees that are down in the crease.
Just kept glassing around, and I moved one mountain over from where the sow and the two cubs were, and there's another bear. Looks like a lone bear. Medium, small, medium size-ish. But bear nonetheless, and once again, just out of reach. I guess we're spotting bears and getting some good intel, so can apply that intel to our hunt, because we're pretty high up in elevation, and both the sow and its cubs and this bear are like on one single elevation line, and they're a lot lower than us. They're probably about maybe 1,000 feet lower than us. Because our finger ridges don't look all that bad once you start seeing it plateau into the valley.
Right.
But once you get up high onto the spine, it's like, yeah, it's pretty steep.
You know where to look is in that stuff up there.
Yeah, I've been trying.
That green up there.
But that stuff is hard because it's just brush. I've been trying to just keep an eye on it, though.
Because that's a lot like what this is.
Yeah. That stuff's hard glass. They gotta be in there, though. We'll just keep glassing.
No, they're there.
Yep.
I'm gonna find one right now. Look. Watch this.
I'm watching. We're all watching you.
I'm gonna find one right here. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Watch this.
I'm ready.
All right. Somewhere in my field of view right now is a bear. I promise you.
Just one bear?
Hang on. No, there's 6.
Okay, that sounds more reasonable. That's quite a bold claim.
So Jon said somewhere in the screen right now, there's at least 6 bears. We don't see them, but we know they're there because Jon said so. He's not wrong. That is some gnarly country right there.
This morning we rode into some new country. It's not really new, but it's just lower country. The past couple days we've been hunting up higher, but today we decided to hit the lower country just because of where the bears we spotted last night were. They were pretty close to the bottom, so I figured we'd come down and look at the foothills of these ridges. So we biked in, got in here, and there's like elk everywhere. There's like elk to our right, elk to our left. I see them right now. They're just standing and just feeding around. This little drainage right here looks money for bears. Really? Where?
This bush right over here.
Way across.
Yeah, so if you look right
On the other side.
right here. So
Just right. Oh, right there. That brown one.
just gonna come with her.
Yep. That's a beautiful bear.
God, she's gorgeous. She smells this. No, maybe not.
No, I think they're just working their way up. Wow, that's a gorgeous bear.
Yeah, that little cub.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see if I can get you get video of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I knew this drainage was too good.
What's that?
I knew this drainage was too good.
I know. Yeah, I've been looking at this like, oh God, there's
I was just talking to you guys, explaining how there's elk everywhere, and as I just got done saying that, John spots a sound cub just running up the ridge. I don't know if they smell us or what, but there's a cow elk just standing there too. The fawns are just above the grass. The sun finally made it out past the clouds, and all the animals have slowly drifted off into cover, started to bed down. So we haven't seen too much in the past, like 45 minutes, but it's getting hot, so it makes sense. But considering the fact that there's not a lot of animals out in the openings anymore, I figured I'd take this time to just kind of go over my glassing setup, because I do get asked occasionally about what I use for glassing, and so figured this is a good time, because when it comes to bear hunting is probably the most laid back type of hunt that I do. The reason why it's laid back is just because of how I choose to hunt and how I like to hunt. So when I'm hunting for bears, all I do is get up high on like a vantage point like we are right now, and I just post up and put my optics to use. So when you're just letting your eyes do the walking, your body's not getting physically beat up. That's why it's a very laid back hunt. Plus on this hunt, we don't even do a lot of hiking. We've just been e-biking, and the e-biking is helping a lot, save our legs. But anyway, to get the point across, I basically run two main setups. So I have my binocular here, and I have my spotting scope. These two things right here are pretty much what I use on my bear hunts. So for my binocular right here, I am running the Vortex Razor UHD 10x50 binocular, and 10 power binocular. It'll cover anywhere from in front of your face out to even 1,500 yards, even 2,000 yards. You know, I've glassed them very far. Granted, they're pretty hard to see, but you know, I've picked out deer way across and bears way across, and especially elk because they're a little bit easier to see. So 10x50, it's what I prefer for my all-around binocular if I can only own one type of deal. And then along with my binocular, I run this monopod. This monopod is made by John Lucas, who I'm hunting with today actually, or on this trip. And this monopod right here, instead of having to just handhold your binocular, it just adds more stability to your glassing. And the reason why I like this more than a tripod is that if I'm glassing like this, right, and I need to move over here, I just simply pull up the monopod, glass over here. Versus like a tripod, you have to move the whole tripod, readjust the legs, and then glass there. So that's like my primary source of glassing right here. Vortex Razor UHD 10x50 with a Kestrel monopod. So let's say with this setup right here, I glass an animal. In this case, let's say I glass a bear like 1,000 yards away. This is when I resort to my spotting scope. So the spotting scope I'm running, that I have been running for a couple years now, is the Vortex Razor 27-60 by 85. So it's the biggest spotting scope that Vortex makes, and I'm just running it with the Vortex Carbon Summit 2 tripod. And the reason for a spotting scope is it just allows you to get a much more detailed look at what you spotted with your binocular, right? So again, the example was I spot a bear at 1,000 yards with a binocular, and at 1,000 yards with a 10 power binocular, all you can tell is just a bear. With the spotting scope, you have 27 to 60 times zoom, which allows you to get super close to that animal and just allows you to get a much more detailed look at the animal. On top of my spotting scope, I also run this thing called a phone scope, and what it allows me to do, it just allows me to connect my phone just like this onto my spotting scope, and I use the camera on my phone to film whatever my spotting scope is seeing. So a lot of the footage that you guys have been seeing is actually filmed
through my phone through the spotting scope. And the camera that I'm running right now, it has 20 times optical zoom. So the spotting scope has 3 times the zoom that this camera has, which just allows for not only me to see the animals better, but allows you to see the animals in much more fine detail. Other than that, then that's pretty much my glassing setup. So I glass with the binos first, with the monopod. Once I spot something, I resort to the spotting scope to get a fine detailed look at it. And then from there, I decide whether or not I want to make a move on them, and then you make a play on them.
Okay, so I'm looking at
Okay, you see that saddle, that little saddle point right there?
Yep.
That not the far one, but that ridge that the doe was on.
Yep.
Shoot, the fog's coming in. He's like 100 yards directly below that saddle. But dang it, the fog's coming in. It's not a big bear, but it's a bear.
Shooter?
If it's a lone bear, that's a shooter. I didn't get a good look. I just saw bear. I just saw the head moving, and I was like, bear.
What color?
Just black.
That works.
Yep, jet black. What are we up to, John?
Hey, so I think he's kind of full of it looking at this fog out here. But Simong says there's a bear out there. Now, I believe him because he was using a Kestrel monopod when he spotted it.
He's in a pretty killable spot, too. Out of all the area that we could have glassed, he's in a relatively easy spot to shoot. I'm going to throw the phone scope on him so you guys can see him, but I got to wait for this fog to clear.
If he was responding to that bear.
Possibly.
She's looking back over her shoulder.
But let's not get tunnel vision on this bear.
Yep.
Let's just try to glass and see how many bears we can see.
We got to keep track of him now.
Oh yeah, I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Because what time is it?
I can't see any other bears at the moment.
4:22.
Yeah.
We got 4 hours of light.
Yeah.
We can definitely take our time with this bear. Doesn't look like there's any cubs with him either. But I mean, I'm trying to wait for this fog to clear. It's not playing.
He looks like he's alone.
Yeah.
Or it looks like it's alone.
Boom! That's bear number 8. Bear number 8, man. That's crazy. We just spent some time looking at that bear. That bear looks like it's a lone bear, no cubs, so got the clear on to put a stock. The road actually goes down here, so we're gonna ride our bikes down and then we're gonna drop off our bikes and then we're just gonna hike over. The visibility is making it kind of hard, so we're kind of playing a guessing game and just got our fingers crossed that the bear will stick around kind of in the general area that we want him to be when we get over there. So it's kind of a gamble, but you don't know until you try. So we're just gonna pack up, get up to the bikes and ride down. So we just rode in and he's being right in this opening right here. He's a little closer than I thought. So he's right there. So we're gonna sneak in on him and try to make this happen. Camera's not breaking on me.
listen, John's gonna be the shooter, so we're gonna let John shoot him. The bear climbed up in a tree, but we'll see how it works out here. This is like miserable weather right here, so I'm just gonna film. We're gonna let John do business.
sub 100 pounds. We're gonna let him pass. And
Maybe 100 pounds. Maybe.
I'm guessing he's under 100 pounds, but he is fluffy. He's chubby looking. He is
very stout nose.
Yeah, he is. We'll be looking for him in a few years, for sure. That is a great looking bear. He's got a nice looking coat.
See, he looks decent on the ground, but
He does, but
he's tiny.
He's a tiny bear. Like, he is.
He's probably like 90 pounds.
Yeah, he's a young bear. We're gonna let him go. Come back and look for him in a couple of years. Great looking bear. We got within like 75 yards of him without him knowing we were in. We spotted him from way up there, like in the fog now. You can't even tell.
We could have had bear meat with morels, but that was just not the right bear. Just not his time, so
We're gonna find the right bear up there next to that shed.
we're gonna find the right bear. I just couldn't convince myself to shoot a bear like that.
Yeah, and once I got a good look at him, it's just no.
It was a pretty easy decision.
Once I saw him, like, I got a good look at him in the tree. I wanted to wait to say for sure until I saw him come down. But as soon as I saw him come down, like, absolutely not. But I was
That was awesome.
I was 50-50 when he was in the tree.
Yeah. 50-50 in the tree, and then when he came down the tree, it was 100-0.
Yeah.
Straight pass.
Yeah.
There's elk right behind us. Oh my gosh.
Right up for the bike.
Those elk or those deer? Oh, those are elk.
They look awfully small without those winter coats. That's that same herd we had earlier. See that one with the really white patchy fur?
Hey, there's a spike. You see that guy on the skyline?
Yeah, I see it.
Two nubs. This trip has been nothing short of absolutely incredible.
This is why we are now. Yeah, we just got spotted.
Yep.
Where he was when I saw him. He was, see this like short snag sticking up? Mm-hmm. He was just on the other side. See there's the log that's laying down? Mm-hmm. He was just on the other side of that. He was feeding that way.
Gotcha.
On the other side of that log. And so I saw him go behind that bush and then kind of up that way.
Gotcha. Not only is the bike to our glassing point long, it's even farther from our glassing point to our camp. I only have 60% battery left, but yesterday John gave me this, I don't know, caffeine booster. He said it works really well when you start needing a push uphill, so we'll find out. Is this just like goo and you just like eat it?
Yep. Just like put it in.
Oh wow, that's thick.
Yeah.
That was very thick. Ooh, that tastes a little funky.
Yeah, it's funky. These are not like something that you want to like.
It tastes like medicine.
Yes. Yeah.
Rode past this to go down to the bear. That's my first Idaho elk shed, I believe. Nice little 4-point souvenir. No complaints. It's awesome. This is my bike. Battery's dead, so we're doing a improvised tow rope. John's gonna help tow because he still has like 40% battery left.
Something like that. 34. How
far would you say we are from the gate?
From where we?
No, not where. Just this gate.
Half mile.
Yeah. So we got some towing to do. It did good. It came up 5 miles. So
5 miles in like 1,500 feet.
Yeah. So
on how much battery?
37% coming up. So it did pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad. But I guess the moral of the story is when you have e-bikes, buy a spare. That's what we learned. As if this hunt couldn't get any more epic, it does. There's the tow rope right here. Over to John's bike. There's camp. We made it. And %12 battery left. We survived.
That is one heck of a mushroom. Look at that. Zach from P and Wild tells me he just kicks these off the road.
The goal was we were gonna eat bear meat with morels tonight. We could have, but obviously that wasn't the right bear. It wasn't his time to go, so we passed him up. So today, instead of bear, chicken. Just gonna eat some chicken bouillon. Is that what you said?
Yep, it's got some chicken broth concentrate and a couple cups of water. Chopped up some of those mushrooms. We got morels to go in there. We got some puffballs going to go in there. Then we'll put some chicken on top and we're done.
Perfect.
It's going to be good.
When you hunt on a rainy day like this and you're just getting drenched, you get back to camp, you're cold. Nothing warms you up like a hot tent and hot soup. We're pretty stoked. So this is our second to the last day of our trip. So we got to eat good tonight. Oh, and by the way, John knows a lot about mushrooms, so it's not just morels.
I know.
So he also found some puffballs. I think that's what it's called.
I know how to identify about 3 or 4 different mushrooms that are safe to eat. And if anybody out there can prove me wrong, or is watching this in horror because I've made some horrible mistake, I can tell you, you're too late. We've already eaten them.
So if you don't see this video, we're dead. But if you see it, that we made it out alive, or barely made it out alive.
Yep. Barbecue flavored. Mm-hmm. I got it with ham. Before this goes in, I think it should be an adder.
A little bit of topping.
Mm-hmm. They're not crumbling the way I would like them to, but look pretty good.
Oh, that looks amazing.
All right.
Chicken, morels, puffballs, bouillon, chicken bouillon.
Oh,
that's the spot.
that is good. That is really good.
Oh man,
I think we're gonna like that. Look at that little round of morel there. It's got a little chewiness to it. Oh, it's good.
All right, let's try this. Let's try the broth. Oh yeah.
Right?
Way better than a mountain house.
Oh, yeah.
All right, today is the 11th of June, and today was supposed to be our last full day of hunting, but the weather's not cooperating. It started basically having a torrential downpour today, and it's not supposed to end, so I figured we're gonna pack up. We're just trying to pack up as fast as we can because the rain's coming down. But before we close out this video, we do have a couple shout outs. First off, I want to shout out Jon, because without him this hunt would not have been possible. If I didn't have a partner, there's no way I would have came down here by myself, and so Jon was a big part of why this happened. And the other thing is Jon hooked us up.
Yeah, so we got a good deal on a bike from Synergy Cycles in Boise. They gave us a great deal on a rental for the week, so Simon could ride the Quiet Cat that he's been working off of this week. That's been a really big help with all these fire roads out here. Those guys did a great job hooking us up with a good bike, and we've had a great time. We've covered close to 40 miles on them in the last few days in a lot of elevation. So it's been a big game changer for us to get back in here and cover lots of territory. So I no doubt give these bikes a lot of credit for some of our good times and success out here this week. So it's been fun. So Synergy Cycles in Boise did a great job.
Yep, Synergy Cycles, based out of Boise, Idaho. If you need Boise, Idaho.
Right.
If you guys need to rent an e-bike, or heck, maybe even purchase an e-bike, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Check them out in Boise, Idaho. Again, like, if I didn't have this loaner bike, there's no way I would have been able to do what I've done on this hunt. So huge shout out to them, and huge shout out to the e-bikes. This is my first time on an e-bike, and it's pretty rad. So with that being said, we're gonna clean up here. That's gonna wrap it up for our bonsai spring bear hunting trip. Season's not over yet, so we could be able to make another trip out some other time in the month. But till then, really appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys on the mountain.